That's exactly where the conversation should turn. We've had almost autopilot view now that rates will come down. Perhaps we need to relook at that. And is the US economy overheating? You know, all of the signs here are it's an economy with lots of economic momentum. It's quite strong already.
Yeah.
You add to that more capex spending, more fiscal. And then the other thing is that just look on the labor supply. One of the policies that the Trump administration wanted to do is to, in some ways, restrict the immigration, in fact, reduce immigration.
When there's a major shortage of construction
Correct.
workers in the country.
And that will be inflationary. So you then have this case where it's not just demand that's growing, but supply is constricting.
Yeah.
And Economic 101 says, well, inflation needs to give. And in that world, rate cuts just seem a bit odd.
Yeah, they just seem a bit odd. Where does that leave the dollar?
Yeah, I feel the dollar now is hostage. It's not the main driver, right? Normally when you talk about the dollar, it's like, well, if the dollar does this, this is what will happen to asset classes. Dollar right now is hostage to all of these things about Trump and tariffs. And I think the interesting thing to me is all of the things going on right now talk to a stronger dollar, US outperformance and all of this.
Yeah.
But then longer term, the flip side of him wanting to reduce the trade deficit, the flip side of trade deficit means money's flowing into your country. And that's keeping the dollar quite strong. If he in some ways brings down the deficit, there'll be less flows in. So in many ways, we should be thinking about the outlook for the dollar longer term as weaker of what he's trying to do.
Nick, I know we're going to be talking about FX later on in the hour and also Chinese EVs too. So I want to try to squeeze in, if I can now, and find the window opportunity to ask you about tech and AI and this whole theme playing out right now. I mean, you know, the capex commitment, some of the big question marks around that, what China's managed to do. I believe you were in the US at the time of this whole sort of innovation breakthrough. I'm keen to get your sort of thoughts on what the nature of those conversations actually were.
And it's tricky because the whole starting point so far is that to move the frontier on, where we are right now is brute force. You need to have lots of semiconductors and you had lots of resource and lots of spending to move the technology forward. And then almost out of the blue, there's this idea, well, maybe there's a way of just having a better algorithm. This is the deep seek argument. So maybe you don't need all the spending. So to me, the interesting thing is, how much spending do we need to move things forward? Is there a better way of doing that? And then beyond that, at the moment, we're all talking about a number of names, a small list of names. If we take a step back, AI, in about a year onwards or so, we should be seeing signs of it actually impacting other non-tech sectors. And that's going to be the interesting breakthrough, is when we see other companies use AI to take out costs and so on and change their own trajectory, even though they're not part of the tech world.